first brew into the Fermentasauras today. We're also going to, in case you haven't seen them, show you one of these. This is a fresh wort kit. Easiest way to brew in the world. You get a professional brewery to make an all grain wort for you. You bring it home, throw it in a fermenter, sprinkle a bit of yeast on it, and job done. So we put some high foam sanitizer in here, the phosphoric sanitizer that we sell. I've left that sitting for at least 2 minutes. The other thing that I didn't show you that comes with the Fermentasauras, which was not in the other video, is that there is a little attachment to go onto the butterfly valve at the bottom, so that you can attach a piece of hose to it if you wanted to use it for bottling. Although even then, using a bottling gun through the ball locks on the top would be a better option. So we're just going to drain this now. Top here, again get some lubricant and just run it around the edge before you screw on the rest of the lid. Now, because we're draining water, we don't want to get negative pressure in there and collapse the thing, so we'll just open up the bleed valve, spin it around so it stays open. Now, while this is draining, we've had a couple of people question light strike. Because we're using a clear vessel, sunlight especially, but also artificial light, can give you a really funky odour and flavours in your beer. So what we discovered, very simply, medium-sized t-shirt. You know, any $5 medium-sized t-shirt from Kmart actually fits these perfectly over the whole unit. The other thought we had is if you want to insulate it, a jacket is an easy, ready-made option to insulate these. You just put a snow jacket or your winter jacket over the top of this. So we're just going to fill our fermenter. One trick with these that I didn't do just before is turn it around so the spout's at the top. Makes it a lot easier to pour. And as simple as that. So we've got our 15 litres in there. We just need to bring that up to 20 litres. If you wanted to have a stronger ale, you could by not diluting this fresh wort mixture, but it is designed to be diluted if you want to get your standard sort of 5% beer. So there are a couple of ways to pitch yeast into a conical fermenter. We can just sprinkle it on top as you would with a normal brew. With this much foam in it, that is a little bit difficult, but give it a go. The other option, especially if you've got a yeast starter or you've got a yeast cake from an old brew, is that it will be stored in here. You've kept it refrigerated after your last brew, and you can just attach this and then open the valve to release the yeast into your next brew. And folks, that is about it. Okay, it's now day 2 after putting this fresh wort kit on. As you can see, the sanitizer foam subsided right down. We've got our krausen on top. It was very active on the first day, to the point where actually it blew some of the froth out through our bleed valve here. As you can hear, there's still a lot of pressure building up in there. Our tube has all settled down into the bottom here, and you can see it's running its way down the inside of the cone, making it very easy to collect and get out of there. So we'll put this away, we'll put the cover back over it, because again we don't want it to be light struck. Okay, you can see this is the third day now. I think you can see a lot of the tube settled down into this collection vessel. We've got a little bit settled above the valve. So what we're going to do now is just remove this. Now if I wanted to keep this yeast cake for my next brew, I could just remove this, seal it, put a lid on it, and put it in the fridge, ready for the next time. But for us, we're just going to So I've also put a drip tray down here. You want to put a plate or something like that because there is going to be a bit of liquid comes out when I open it because it's sealed to the top. Now when I put this container back on there, I'm just going to flush it out with some CO2 first. Okay, back again. I've just emptied this out, gave it a quick rinse and sanitized it again. And now I can reattach it back on the bottom and reopen the valve. Let the brew continue without it being sitting there on a yeast cake. And that easy. Now we'll just let this sit for another little while. I don't know how well you can see, but the beer is really clear. Like, you can see this float and the hose connected to it really easily through that. It's still pressurized from the fermentation, and you can see it has a light carbonation to it already. I haven't done any secondary fermentation yet, and how well you can see that's pretty clear. I'm really happy with that. Flavour is good. It hasn't been sitting on the tube. Okay, so after we've finished primary fermentation, we want to carbonate this beer. We simply attach the beer line to where our tap was, attach that onto our little keg, and that's it. We're pressure transferring from our fermenter at the top, at the clearest part, into our keg. If this does happen to run out of pressure, we can just use our regulator to push some more in there. The other thing that we can do is we could run this through a filter into the keg if you're the kind of person that wants your ultra clear filtered beers. Have one here. You simply attach the beer line to one end, attach the liquid disconnect to the other end, and you push your beer through this filter to get out any sediment. But as you can see, if you look at this beer line, this beer is about as clear as I want to need it.